Thank you, Dr. Mayank. I welcome all of you to this sixth technical session of the Centennial National Conference on Legal Education. And this technical session is on globalization and legal education. And we have a distinguished set of speakers with us. And our first speaker is Dr. Uday Shankar, Associate Professor of Law, Rajiv Gandhi School of Intellectual Property Law. Then we have Dr. Raju Manchi, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Law, Banaras Hindu University. We have Dr. Amrendra Kumar Ajit, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. And finally, we have Dr. Vikesh Ram Tripathi, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. So we'll start with Dr. Uday Shankar. May I request Dr. Uday Shankar, sir, to kindly address this session.
Good morning and greetings to all of you. Indeed, a matter of great pleasure and privilege for me to participate in this conference which is being organized to celebrate 100th year of this prestigious law school, which is situated in a very pristine and pure environment. Thank you, Professor Manvendra, for extending this opportunity as a chair of the session. And greetings to all my colleagues who will be also speaking in this session. For this session, I have decided to speak on the area of globalization and legal education, journey traveled and way forward. At the outset, I congratulate the organizers for identifying a very good area, because I believe there is a lot of thought process must have gone when they have decided not to give a topic of globalization of the law or legal education. They have purposefully, I believe, decided to use the word "and", so that we shouldn't be talking only about how all along the law and legal education has transformed in India with the help of global development, but how the entire thing is also going to further get advanced from India to other jurisdictions. And that's what I'll try to speak on and address. When I look at, is someone handling this PPT? When I look at the growth of this globalization and legal education, I find different interfaces. For example, I find the interface of globalization and course curriculum, where what we find is that subjects, what we study, what we learn, has got a flavor of transnational character. For example, contract law, international human rights law, international commercial arbitration. So these are the subjects when we study, we find that it has got a flavor of globalization. Another aspect of globalization is when you look at faculty or students, where there is a kind of drive that the composition of the students and faculty should be from every region. That also connects with globalization. And then globalization and legal profession, where we find that how a student of law school, once he or she graduates, how equipped a student is in effectively practicing in the area which deals with transnational organization or international organization or multinational corporations. The third one is globalization and judiciary, where I see where judges, those who have got educated in abroad, like for example, the current Chief Justice has got educated in abroad. So those who have got educated in abroad, when you read their writings, you find that their writings have got a flavor of that jurisdiction. So that is also a sort of globalization which you find, and the impact what you find when we study and learn law in India. Obviously, these are areas of, I would say, independent research. And then globalization and law universities, law schools or law colleges, where an effort should be made in order to catch up with the best law schools or law colleges, law universities situated in other countries. So that's what even we are also driving for, I believe. And The last one is when you look at globalization, pedagogy, how we have been imparting legal education in the classes. And in pedagogy, you find that we have done a huge amount of change where clinical legal education has become an integral part of the teaching here. And then experimental learning is also something which is now taking place. Now, another important way of pedagogy which is being employed in some of the law schools is gamification, where through the the entirely different process from the classroom study or case law method, this is what we do. Can we move to next slide? Now, when I was looking at the website of different law schools, that how many of them they are really trying to become global. And I have just looked at a few of them, not of every law school or law university. I found that when I looked at the website and mission and vision of Bangalore Law School, which is the law school in this country and always features at #1, surprisingly I found that their mission doesn't say anything about global standard, but I mean, though we know that loosely it is called as East of Harvard when it comes to law and legal education. Same is the case with NALSA. I could not find any reference of they becoming global standard, or they are trying to become a global standard. NUJS in their mission statement certainly talks about making students ready for accepting new challenges in social, economic, globalization and turning as social engineers. So NUJS certainly talks about it. NLIU Bhopal again doesn't make any reference of globalization or global standard. Can you move to next slide? Jodhpur talks about again globalization. If I read from their mission statement, it says to prepare lawyers of tomorrow for handling legal issues not only restricted to the national boundaries, but also cutting across complex cross-border transactions by developing legal skills in core areas of business laws and others. So NLU Jodhpur also addresses, and I have also taken this very leading private law school, Jindal Global Law School, which also talks about global standard, where they talk about the law school imparts a rigorous and multidisciplinary legal education with a view of producing world-class legal professionals. And then it says that a school's expert faculty comes across the globe and engages in critical scholarship. That is globalization and faculty-student aspect. Interestingly, when I looked at the BHU website, law school website, and I found that they also refer to global standard. I really congratulate them. I don't know when this mission statement was written and it was put up on the website. But then it says that law school BHU has throughout the years made valuable contributions to the legal education in the country and has been continuously holding a reputation of educational excellence and academic rigor. The law school is prominent faculty of the university. It has accorded name and fame to the university at the global level. So they have a reference of maintaining that standard, or giving a good competition to the law schools which are there in abroad. That's what the mission statement says. Can you move forward? Now, when you look at how the globalization has impacted in India, the story goes back to 50s, when the Ford Foundation, US-based organization, undertaken a study to improve law and legal education. The history says that they have undertaken this study with a very different mindset, where they wanted to improve the law and legal system of this country so that country can get better governed through rule of law. That's what was their mindset, that they thought that India became a democracy. It cannot successfully run unless and until democratic values and rule of law is well ingrained. And that's how the entire project started. And when you look at the literature, BHU Law School would be very happy to know, and I believe all of us, it's a matter of great pleasure and privilege for all of us to get this information, that the first funding has come to BHU Law School way back when Professor Anandji was the Dean of the Law School, and he really played an instrumental role in getting that funding. And after this only the funding has gone to Delhi University and other law schools. Can you move forward? Now, when I look at the development of legal education, I see it in 3 phases. The first phase is the phase of mediocrity. Second is the institutional phase, and third one is the impact phase. Can you move forward? Now, what is these phases are? Now, when you look at mediocrity phases, it is the phase of the beginning of first 10, 20 years, when law school was, or studying law was considered to be a kind of only vocational one, which my good friend and brother Professor Manindra was referring yesterday. that it was considered to be a kind of vocational course, and still it is struggling to get a status of academic discipline. So first phase was first 10 or 20 years, where it was considered to be a kind of backup plan and not a mainstreaming things. And that's what, when you look at the report of Radhakrishnan Commission, it says our colleges of law do not hold a place of high esteem either at home or abroad, nor has the law become an area of profound scholarship and enlightened research. So that's what is the sorry state of affair prevailing in law and legal education in 50s and 60s. Then it was decided to institutionalize legal education in this country, and that's how Advocates Act came into existence in 1961, and the responsibility was entrusted on Bar Council to regulate legal education in this country, and they have got a responsibility to promote legal education in this country, and still we are getting regulated through Bar Council, though divergent views are there that now, considering the market, legal industry, it is not that the law students are only going and practicing at the bar, and therefore Bar Council must withdraw, at least to some extent, in regulating legal education in the country. Move forward. Though everyone talked about NEP, so I'll skip that, but NEP, as it was discussed yesterday, that very briefly talked about legal education, but certainly whatever it has talked about, it has given emphasis on making legal education globally competitive. So that's what is important, and I see when they have given the reference of constitutional values, I believe they also want that whenever we are striving for making it globally competitive, what we need to look at is that how our values can really become a part of entire legal education, so that others can be ready to accept it, as well as it becomes well spread in terms of acceptance, in terms of excellence, and in terms of attracting students and scholars in India. Now, coming to the conclusion and what is way forward to me, I find globalization and legal challenges has got a kind of internal challenge in a sense that the way legal education and the outcome of legal education prevails in this country as on date, there is a kind of conflict where we find that this profession is largely under the control of family, a kind of legacy works that needs to be somewhere broken. So that is the internal challenge. So that's how I said it, in favor of familial or social capital. And merit needs to, and which certainly law school education is doing it. Law school education national law schools have transformed legal education in this country and successfully making a place for merit. External is that the very idea that when you talk about globalization, this very understanding that standard has to come from abroad, this myth has to be bust. This has to be countered. So that this very understanding that whenever we talk about legal education, we did not look at the West always. Possibly there are certain areas where we can also be a leader in educating other jurisdictions. And I believe I have identified some of the areas, but this is not something which is very comprehensive, where Indian contribution can really make a very visible impact, tangible impact to contribute in globalization and legal education. For example, climate change, the way our entire living educates us on climate change, educates us on environmental concern. Many of our festivals talks about environmental protection. Now these things can become a matter of study and can certainly be a part of a study for other jurisdictions. The way successfully we have taken care of vaccination during Corona, possibly access to health services, how a big mass can be part of health coverage, this is something again a study can be done and it can become a part of lessons for other jurisdictions. Housing, the way things are working on right to housing, again it can become a matter of good study on education. Socioeconomic rights, I believe we have been championing it. Many jurisdictions are quoting our judgments. And No doubt, some of the judgments are very phenomenal. So these are the areas where we can really become global. And then what we need to understand is that that when you look at the study of law, it needs to also be understood, because globalization is more of interaction, exchanges of people, services, culture. Now, it has to be understood in terms of demands of globalization. And there where what we need to look at is that it is not that we are only at the receiving end, we also need to see that we are also supplying information and knowledge to the outside world. One important factor which we need to keep in mind for making globalization a successful from our end is to continue with public funding in educational institution, because more you go for a private funding, then instead of globalization, we will end up somewhere, making ourselves as an elite organization, elite institution, and legal education, which is the education for empowering people, may remain a subject matter of only a few. Thank you very much for your patience hearing. Thank you.